Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Fox, and today I wanted to bring you my first Achilles Pulse build. Very similar to my earlier build I think I posted maybe a week ago, that was a legendary healer build that was designed to not just sit there and heal, which I notice a lot of future initiative builds do, but also to drastically enhance your team's damage. This build is essentially in the same vein. This is more based for weapon based teams as opposed to skill based teams, so it's essentially the weapon based version of that legendary support healer build. If you do want to check out that video, it works incredibly well in Legendary Summit. The link will be at the top of your screen now. It will also be in the description below. You will also find in the description below, as is always the case, the timestamps for this video. So if you want to cut straight to the build, to the skills part, if you want to see the gameplay itself, that'll all be down below. And don't forget to go on to our Discord server, which once again is linked in the description below. That Discord server has been set up by my friend Lugton. He's done a great job with it. If you do want a clan Discord, make sure to message him. Again, that's all in the description. On our Discord, there are separate platforms or separate sections for each platform. So if you're PlayStation or PC or Xbox, it's all there for you. There are event planners, so you can set up raids and everybody can join into those, and that's all very visible. Announcements of my videos before they come out, you'll have a heads up on that. Announcements from Massive with regards to maintenance and patch notes. You don't need to search for them. Build discussions, general chat. There's tons of stuff in there, and it's all available for you guys and girls as we speak, so be sure to check that out. Don't forget also to like and subscribe to the channel. I do really want to thank all of my existing subscribers, as we've been able to hit very nearly 8k, and considering the channel has been going for less than a year, that is growth that I didn't even come close to expecting. So, you know, thank you all. It's been fantastic. You've really helped me out, and I'm just glad that you all like the channel. So let's get started. Let's have a look at the build first. What we'll do is go from the top to bottom, so we'll start with the specialisation and we'll finish on the skills and why I've chosen that exact combination. We are going to be running Sharpshooter today. Now, for those of you that don't know, and again I will go into more detail when we come to the skills part of this video, the Achilles Pulse enhances damage on any enemy in the sense that it applies headshot damage modifiers to their arms, legs and torso depending on your skill tier build. So what you want to be doing is speccing into headshot damage, and what this build does is enhance your teammates' headshot damage via the Sharpshooter specialisation tree. Now, there are a few reasons that we're using this. First of all, we are using a sniper on this build, although a rifle actually works pretty much just as well. I still think the sniper's better because they have much larger headshot modifiers, but you can just use a classic M1A if you prefer. What you do want to consider using, and what I will be using, is the digital scope, which comes with the Sharpshooter tree when you unlock rifles, as this gives you 45% additional headshot damage. Works very well with this build. We also gain the 15% increased headshot damage with rifles and marksman rifles from the one in the head talent. And the main reason that we're using this is for the Sharpshooter tactical link. What we're essentially going to do is enhance our team members' headshot damage by 10% just by sitting behind them, or certainly in between, allowing them to be in between us and the enemy. So as long as they are closer to the enemy that they are shooting, then they'll gain that additional 10% headshot damage. And as they can now shoot into enemies' bodies, arms and legs and still gain that additional headshot damage, there's just a lot of synergy with this tree and the build itself. We also gain a very good armor kit that cleanses all status effects, better handling for our snipers, so just better aim assist, faster target acquisition in the sense that the ADS speed is increased, and a nice blind grenade as well. So a lot of nice reasons to use the Sharpshooter, but it is mostly for the tactical option to improve headshot damage, and of course the additional headshot damage that we gain. The weapons that I decided to go for are the White Death. Now, this is quite simply the best sniper in the game. In fact, the only 3 snipers in the game that you should ever use are the White Death, the Mantis and Nemesis. Now, you've probably already spotted that I've rolled Future Perfect onto this, and I'm sure there are people out there that will be wondering why I haven't gone for the Scalpel. I did initially test it with the Scalpel. Unfortunately, this isn't a particularly good high-end MMR. You know, the base damage is quite low, the DPS is definitely lower than the White Death, the headshot modifier caps out at 111%, whereas in the White Death caps out at 137%, and that is really important with this build, and actually any sniper build, so I would not recommend the Scalpel. It just isn't that good, if I'm being totally honest. The only real difference with Future Perfection, so the perfect version of Future Perfect, that's a bit confusing to say, is that it gives us a 19-second window of an overcharge versus the 15 seconds. It doesn't enhance our damage or our teammates' damage in any way, so yeah, I don't think that you need the perfect version of it. So what Future Perfect essentially does on this sniper is give us the ability to overcharge. Now, this is a tier 6 build, so weapon kills at skill tier 6 grant overcharge for 15 seconds. This build does work in Legendary, but for Heroic this will be a lot easier to close your kills. So if you are playing Legendary, you may want to consider changing your skill, or your talent should I say. What you want to do is spec it into, of course, the maximum marksman rifle damage that you can. The headshot damage as a named item is default, so it'll always be 137%. The attribute, annoyingly, because I had to roll the talent, is stuck on stability. I would definitely prefer damage to targets out of cover. It's really the only option on this gun, or possibly damage to armor, or damage to health if you can get that. Anything will be better than stability. I'll need to farm for another one. What I am going to do before I continue through the build is show you some other weapon talents that work with the White Death. You're not actually restricted to Future Perfect. For Heroic, yes, it is best in slot, but there are other choices, so we'll quickly go through those now. Red Basket does stack with the Achilles Pulse, so this is great for personal damage, but the whole point of this build isn't for you to get that many kills, because you can't. You know, this is a tier 6 build at the end of the day, so you're not going to be killing all the time. Red Basket will help with that, but it is by no means the best in slot. Same for Optimus, this enhances damage, but only for ourselves. The other options that are pretty good are Reformation, although, well, two reasons I'm not using this. One, you don't need any more skill repair on this build, but if you do feel that you need it with the one healing skill as opposed to two, this is great. The second reason is Reformation is actually broken at the moment. It doesn't seem to work on any of my weapons. I can't get it to proc. No clue why. I don't even know if Massive know about it yet, but I will be raising a ticket with them. But either way, Reformation is bugged. Even if it wasn't, I still wouldn't use it. Future Perfect is definitely best in slot, as it just gives you an overcharge every 90 seconds, so once every couple of minutes or so, if you can get that kill, which is easier than you might expect, it simply means that you're going to gain an overcharge which drastically enhances the healing and the Achilles Pulse capabilities with this build. Naked is fantastic, as this also stacks nicely with the Achilles Pulse, and it gives us increased headshot damage for shooting health only targets. First Blood, actually probably the best talent for this outside of Future Perfect, as this also stacks with the Achilles Pulse. So I believe it will put you into combat when you use the Achilles Pulse first, but once you reload from an empty mag, the first shot will do that increased damage, and yeah, it works really well, so you can go straight for the body shot. And finally, if you're not a great sniper aim, I myself am definitely not a good sniper aim, so just bear that in mind. This build, if you're not a great aim, you may want to consider the rifle option, even though it's lower damage. Lucky Shot is a great option as well, as it does give you the chance to get all of your bullets back that you miss when sat in cover, and increases your mag size as well. So you know, you could always just go for the Baker's Dozen, for example. That would actually be a really good secondary option on this build. But yeah, I'm going for the White Death. It simply synergizes better with the build than anything else. And for those of you that are a pretty good aim, don't forget you don't need to go for headshots with this. So just go for body shots and you'll be fine. Second choice is the Scorpio, the secondary weapon, purely because it gives us the facility to disorient and shock targets, which is essentially a free stagger. So somebody rushes you or rushes your team whilst you're trying to res someone or anything else, and this is a great way to just stagger them temporarily. But if you do get all 7 shots, that's a further 20% damage that enemy takes, which yes does stack with the Achilles Pulse. So this is also a fantastic weapon, and you could use this more than the sniper if you preferred. And finally, we're just going to use the Orbit. If you've already procced the overcharge via Future Perfect or Future Perfection, you can just switch to this if the enemy is low, gain the 35% crit chance and 40% crit damage, which will really help out with the damage of your sniper for the next overcharge. So those are the weapons. Let's have a look at the build itself, the gear pieces. We are running 4-piece hardwired here. Now I know I said earlier in the video that Future Initiative is the best healer set in the game. Yes, it is, but it does not synergize so well with this build. It offers a large amount of healing and weapon damage buffs. This offers really a similar amount of healing, certainly enough to keep your team alive in Legendary and Heroic, and it also offers a great amount of damage buffs. So Future Initiative does not synergize well, as we need the skill cooldown from hardwired. 2-piece gives us 15% skill haste, which obviously helps with our cooldowns. 3-piece gives us 30% repair skills, which is actually really good. I believe this used to be lower, and I'm pretty sure they buffed it back in TU8 or TU9 sometime. And 4-piece gives us the feedback loop trait, which is that whenever we use or cancel one skill, the cooldown of the other skill is reduced by 30 seconds. As the cooldown of both of these skills is lower than 30 seconds, that just means we get the charge back straight away, so that works really well. And we also gain a little bit of additional skill repair every 20 seconds. Now we are using the backpack with hardwired, so if you look down here, the short circuit talent essentially means that the feedback loop cooldown is now 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds we can improve our skill repair by 10% and reset the cooldown of the other skill. Synergizes really well with the Achilles Pulses. What this now means is that you can fire it out every 10 seconds with the potential overcharge from time to time, drastically improving the damage that your teammates will do to any enemy that you decide to pulse. The way that you want to spec all 4 of your hardwired pieces is to have them, leave them at skill tier, which is perfect because you can just roll repair skills onto each one. So you can literally just craft all of these pieces if you did the original mission in year 1. So repair skills, and then what you want to do is use 3 headshot damage mods. You do not need skill haste on this build. So repair skills and headshot mod here. On my mask it's exactly the same, and then the chest piece is the same as well. You can see the holster, once again roll to repair skills, and finally the knees. The other 2 pieces that I'm using are an Empress, which is very important. Well, I say very important, it's pretty important, and the named Alps gloves, the Motherly Love. Now ideally with the Empress I would get rid of the skill haste and have headshot damage. So you know, to perfect this build I need to get damage to targets out of cover on my sniper, and the only thing that I really need to do is to get max repair skills and max headshot damage as the 2 minor attributes, or as close to that as possible. I've still gone for the high headshot damage mod, and I do want empathic resolve. You could also use Overwatch on this as well, but empathic resolve is better because it buffs you know, by a little bit more to your team, 15% on this build of both total weapon and skill damage. So this is actually a multiplicative damage talent, just like Overwatch, and 7% for ourselves, which is nice to help our own headshot damage. I like to be able to run around a bit with this build to make sure I'm behind my team to give them the additional 10% headshot damage from Sharpshooter, which is why I chose empathic over Overwatch, but that would also be a fantastic choice. So as soon as I get that skill haste swapped out for headshot damage, this build will be perfected, in my opinion. The Motherly Love is a an Alps Summit named item that you gain from completing the technician. Are they called field directives? I forget. The missions that are at the specialization desk, which I'll show you all in a second. Because this automatically rolls the skill tier and max skill health 10%, you can just roll headshot damage on here. So what I'd ideally like is for all hardwired to be repair skills, and for the 2 high end to have headshot damage and repair skills on them, which of course they both nearly do. The 10% skill health that you gain from this glove, it synergizes really well with the Achilles Pulse, which I'll come to in a second. And you may be thinking, well, why are you running 1-piece Emperors for the 10% skill health? For the same reason. It actually enhances how the Achilles Pulse works, which I will come to momentarily. So that's the build just there. Screenshot that if you would like to. What we'll now do is go into the skills section of the video. So the Achilles Pulse offers a very unique talent. This only just came out, well, technically today as of the launch of this video, with TU12 and the final manhunt with Fei Lao. Targeting a single enemy with a pulse essentially identifies weaknesses on their person. So this can be anywhere from 1 to 5, depending whether you are overcharged and the skill tier of your build. A standard skill tier 6 build will highlight 3 individual weak points that will always be their head and their torso, and then either left or right arm and left or right leg. The duration is how long it lasts before it gets broken. Now you can see it says zone health there, 764k. So what this means is that when we shoot, or when our teammates shoot any of the marked zones on the enemy, that will take headshot damage. So whatever your headshot damage is, will be applied to that particular zone. Now you can't proc headshot talents off of this. I've tried it with Regulus, with Reformation, Perpetuation. Liberty doesn't work very well with it. I've tried loads of different things, and you know, anything that needs a headshot, you still have to actually land the headshot. But if you hit somebody in the head for, I don't know, 100k, and your body shot's usually 50k, but you shoot a marked body point, so not their head, it will still do 100k. However, if you shoot their head, it double stacks, and you actually gain a lot more damage. So it adds headshot damage on top of headshot damage, which is why you want to be trying to go for headshots as much as possible. That zone health has been increased by the 10% from here and the 10% from the Motherly Love. So you can see it says 764k. If you were to swap the Motherly Love off for, let's just go for a second piece here of Empress, you see that's now gone down to 700k. And if you do the same here, go to Wyvern instead. Oh, so I've left Empress on, haven't I? That now goes down even lower. So I think I did actually put on a red there, but
good to see you.
So still skill tier 6, 637k. So we're gaining more than 100k just by using the one-piece Empress and the Motherly Love. Now, the Motherly Love, as I say, you need to complete the second section of the Technician field directives, which is very easy. Just follow the directives at the front desk bench and you'll get these gloves. By having an increased amount of zone health, what this means is that our teammates and ourselves can apply more damage before it breaks. Now, if you were to land a shot that did, let's say 700,000 damage, leaving 64,000 left before that zone disappears, therefore going back to the normal body shot damage. If the next shot also did 700k, that as a headshot, that would still apply that full amount of damage. So it's not as, you know, as soon as you hit the 764k the damage drops off. If there's only 50k left on this zone and you land a crit headshot at 1.1 million, or you know, that will normally be the damage to their head, it will still apply that damage to that marked zone on their body. So that's why the higher zone health is better for this build, because there are more opportunities for your teammates to land large crit numbers, you know, whilst that health pool is larger. The second skill that we are using is the Reinforcer Chem Launcher. Now if you look on the right hand side there, you see that ally repair on the fifth line down is 1.1 million. Having the additional headshot on my chest piece, which I don't yet have, would drop this down to just over 1 million, which is plenty because the repair over time is 235k, and that lasts for 6 seconds, so it's 235 per second for 6 seconds. That's enough to heal basically the tankiest of characters that you'd ever have in a legendary or heroic summit. So this is plenty, and the ammo count on this is 9, but this is going to go up by 1 each time we use our Achilles Pulse if the hardwired cooldown is available, and by using the Chem Launcher, which I know never used to work, will also reset the cooldown of the Achilles Pulse. So that's the two skills that I'm using. If you prefer the Hive you can, but because you need to be reprocking hardwired all the time, you'd have to redeploy the Hive, and that means you might not necessarily be behind your teammates, therefore giving them the additional 10% headshot. So I still think the Chem is better, but honestly both skills actually work pretty well, so use what you prefer. To obtain the Motherly Love gloves, I'll very quickly show you this before we load into a mission. If you go onto Technician, you'll see it says View Field Research in the bottom right by selecting Y on Xbox and Triangle on PlayStation. The second option down will reward you with the blueprint for the Motherly Love. Just complete these objectives in the first section first, super easy, and then the second one, and you've already got them. Because it is a blueprint and because it rolls with skill tier automatically and max skill health, you can have this roll straight away. You literally need to craft one, roll headshot damage onto the bottom attribute, and you're done. It's just really this chest that I need to get that headshot on as well. So that's the build there. Screenshot that if you would like to, and don't forget to drop any questions in the comments and I'll do my best to reply to any of those. You can do the same in our Discord server as well. What I'm now going to do is to load into a heroic game mode, either mission or summit, so that I can demonstrate exactly how this works and how the Achilles Pulse performs. Right, so here we are on the summit. This is a heroic mode, which looks like Rage has turned on as the directive. Let's see how this all works. I'm going to try and demonstrate how best to use this build. Looks like there's a boss up already, so what we're going to do is pulse him straight off the bat. Try and sit behind our team if we can. Give this guy a cheeky heal, which I completely missed because I'm an absolute noob. Now if we try and find this boss, he's already dead. Awesome. So what you do is you'll actually be able to see the crit points. And these guys are sat quite far back, so I'm going to try and pulse them. There we go, let's pulse this guy here. So if you look here, you see there are 1, 2, 3, and if you shoot one of those, you will do headshot damage. I can actually see him, that would help. Once you've used that, what I can now do is just pop a heal on the floor somewhere, and I've got the pulse straight back again. So we can see somebody over there. A little bit far away. Okay, even though you want to try and play behind, you see him, I'm just going to push forward here. So there you go, he's already dead. And that's literally all you do is you alternate your skills. So now this has been used, I'm going to drop a heal on this guy, reset the cooldown, which didn't work for some reason. There it is. Drop this on him. Shot on him, which I missed once again because I'm a scrub. And then, you know, the point is not necessarily for your own damage to be that good. If you miss your shots like I seem to do all the time, that is fine. The whole point is to enhance your teammates' damage. So just by sitting back here, that is exactly what I'm doing. Right, now we've got the future perfection talents. You saw that headshot there. We've now got a massive heal. We can apply this on this guy. And we missed. You see all the additional plates that were hit there? And that's literally it. You're just alternating your skills. You're occasionally overcharging, which will drastically improve the healing of this. For those of you that don't know, I don't think it shows me whilst it's in cooldown, does it? But the healing radius and duration is enhanced. On the pulse, it will do more damage, as well as, it won't do more damage, but it applies more zones. So it will apply 5 total zones, which I believe is usually, I think it's arms. I think it's random other than the head. I think the head is always guaranteed. I'll have to sort of, look at that in more detail, but I do believe that it is random. It's actually a nice walker backpack. Either way, the game will tell you. It comes up as a notification on your screen, so you'll know exactly how, where to aim. And of course, you do see the red marks on their body. Now, you don't need to hit them directly in that red mark. you just need to hit them on that particular part of their body. So if the red square is on their elbow of their left arm, hitting anywhere on their left arm will allow you to have that headshot damage, and of course your teammates as well, on that particular part of their body. So yeah, it works really well. And because you've got the 764k there, if I do 700k damage, and then, I don't know, this guy on my team here with his 2.1 million crit M1A build does 2.1 million to the head, he'll then apply that damage to the arm. So yeah, the two pieces of skill health we have on the build, the Empress and the Alps, just work really well, or the Motherly Love. Let's do one more room, and then we'll bring the video to a close. Okay, so we have just come into this next room now. This seems like everything's kicking off outside here, so let's see how we get on. Let's get this guy here, he's taking some heat there. 2.8 on the head, let's go for an arm shot. Leg shot, 2.1. And this isn't a weapon damage based build. Oh, how did I miss that stationary target? That is incredible accuracy. Let me just drop a heal here. A pulse on this guy. On the arm, on the leg. Woohoo! Get this guy. That's it. You just keep rinsing and repeating. And I know it seems a little bit boring, but I like it. All you're doing is healing and pulsing, healing and pulsing. It's great. I'm going to use a shotgun here because this guy's a bit too close for comfort. And you can always stagger them with the shotgun first before you apply the pulse and switch to your sniper. I wonder if it works on this Warhound actually. Oh my goodness. Is this, where do I shoot him? Oh, is it the back? I can't really tell. That's awesome if that does work. So yeah, pretty straightforward. We'll clear this wave of ads, then we'll bring the video to a close, but just drop me any questions in the comments or drop them in my Discord server. You can at me in there if you want. Oh, what a crispy headshot. Now we've got the big dirty heal. Woo, there it is. Detected right arm, head, right leg, left leg, body. We should sit there, so there we go. That was a much better one. So now we can just murderize this guy. Let's get some shotgun shots in, shall we? See you later, mate. Ow! Oh, that's the wrong button for the heal. Helps if you remember what buttons your skills are assigned to. Try and see if it works on this Warhound too. Chest armor and weak point 1. Interesting. Here to catch those as well. Need to find that drone controller. Good old Massive. Making drone controllers and grenadiers just the worst thing that's ever existed in this game.
Agent incapacitated.
Ah, it's because it's the poison room, isn't it? It's damaging our health, and unfortunately a healer can't heal that, as they can't heal health and only armor. I mean, I have two relatively low watch level guys in this team as well, so I don't know if they've got optimized DPS builds. Obviously you would always run this with a team with, you know, good DPS so they can really take advantage of all the additional damage that you can enable. Got you, buddy. Right, let's get this Warhound. I want to see where these crit points are. So chest armor, is that anywhere on his chest? Not sure. Well, it seems to work, so interesting. Guy, there's some heals for you. Nicely topped off. Be a waste of a pulse, but we get it every 10 seconds, why not? You see that little grey hardwired symbol on my buff bar? As soon as that disappears, you can just drop a heal somewhere. I like to just put it on whoever's in the front lines. It will stay on the floor for a while, so it's not necessarily a waste. 9 million to the head. Oh, that was too much damage. I'm going to get out of here. Yeah, that was me just playing a bit crazy there. Well, I'll tell you what, that's probably the best place to bring the video to a close. It's more just me sort of experimenting what the build does. I'm not playing particularly well here, and I'm not in comms with these guys, so probably isn't really helping, but we'll bring the video to a close here. As I said before, ask me any questions in the Discord or in the comments section. Screenshot the build if you would like to, and let me know if you'd make any changes to yourself. And until then, I will see you all in the next video.
Vital signs critical.
And die at the end, apparently. Peace.